Hello, how y'all doing today? Been asked by a few makers on what kind of a jig I use when making my slip joints. So I thought I'd show you today. And it's basically one kind of like Mr. Ruppel uses, except I modified it a little, I guess. But just got an old angle plate. It's got a bunch of holes tapped in here, which makes it easier on mounting my indicator and this other piece here. But I can take my indicator and put it over on this side if I've got a blade pointed the other way, but I'll show you in a minute. So anyway, but on this I've bolted a piece of scrap cold roll, and I've located two pins in here. I've got two carbide pins. They're 3/16 pins, and they're exactly 2 inches apart. So I take and first thing I do is draw out my pattern on draft site, and I cut out my little paper, glue it to my metal, and then cut me out a template, a hardened template. Drill my holes. There's my holes for my pins and pivot, and then got me two holes here for these two pins here. These 3/16 pins are exactly 2 inches apart, and I snap it on there. And like I said, I've got others. Here's a two blade. See, it snaps on there. Or different ones. Find the holes there. Crud in it. Or I can turn them around. Go the other way with them, whatever. But anyway, doesn't work on this folding 100. We'll use that. Snap that down there. And then I use this template. I can drill my holes in my liners. And I also use a template to drill the holes in my spring. That way everything always lines up. And they're always the same. So, put my pins in. And put my spring on. Now one thing, I made a few without putting the blade on there. But I found out by putting the blade on there, when you go to scribe your spring for the length to cut it off, it helps. You can line it up and get it exactly like you're drawing. You know, and scribe it off, and everything lines up. So this piece of metal here just flips back all the way, but that's there so I can put my parallel jaw pliers on there and compress that spring. Now I got my spring loaded. Take my clip off there. I got a little high on the half stop and the close, and I'll fix that later when I get down to the final fitting. And I can go ahead and I can put my other liner on there. And take a little screwdriver here. Take it off. And if you need to take it over grinder and grind it, whatever. But that's how I do it. It works real handy. Being I can interchange these templates, you know, if I'm working on that knife, or I want to work on this one, you know, I can do the same thing. Snap your springs on there, and away you go. But makes it a whole lot easier. It don't take just a few minutes to make a template, and then everything ends up exactly the same time after time after time. If you got any questions, let me know. Have a good day.